Honestly, 2020 cannot come fast enough. This year has been so trifling. I'm the librarian, and I came to read. Before we get into it, just some quick announcements. The first one is that I think we're like 7 or 8 people away from our goal when it comes to Patreon. So sign up to patreon.com/AdrianExpression. And speaking of all that, if you see less activity on Patreon and on YouTube, that's because I will be traveling for the holidays. I tried to pre-record some stuff. You'll get it first on Patreon, obviously, just so you guys can have something while I'm away. But the regularly scheduled programming will continue on December 30th, Monday. So just keep that in mind while we get into it. And speaking of getting into it, if you're wondering what I've been watching recently, The Witcher has been kind of snatching my wig a little bit. Of course, Henry is wonderful to look at, but the story is actually really cool. A lot of people are trying to compare it to Game of Thrones, and I can see why they would do that, but I don't know. It's really engaging. I'm on I think I'm on the 5th episode or something. Just in case you were wondering what the hell my ass has been doing and watching. And since we're over here talking about watching things, Normani sus. Now, listen. I said that Normani was giving us all types of Negro-Lyn Monroe. I did not say Marilyn, all right? I didn't say Marilyn Monroe. I said Negro-Lyn Monroe, Negrolyn, all right? And I'm here for it. She looks amazing. This is supposed to be for the Diamonds music video. Like I said, she's doing it with Megan Thee Stallion. I cannot wait to see. Apparently, there hasn't been a release date that's been given to us at the time that I'm recording this video. I don't know when that's supposed to come out, but the movie's supposed to come out in February, I think. So yeah, I just wanted to show y'all that she's giving us Negro-Lyn Monroe. I'd love to see how you guys would spell that in my comments section. But and since we're talking about the music industry, Santana, Saucy Santana on the beat, he released this song called You Can't Kill Me. I'm a bad bitch, you can't kill me. After all that shit that went down in Miami, sis came back with a track, and I think she also dissed Kaya towards the end of it, basically shading her for her phone going off because she didn't pay the bill during her live stream. It was a lot that was going on in that video. I think that was a perfect way to capitalize off of all the attention and publicity that he got because of that incident. Line of my pose, 1, 2, 3. I'm a bad bitch, you can't kill me. So just taking into account how the music industry works and just transposing that to the LGBT community. I guess he has some like gay street cred or something. He's who shot your vibes? I'm here for it, Santana. Just some more music industry news. Ariana Grande, she released her live album after she wrapped up her tours, Miss Sweetener. She also, apparently Mariah and Ariana Grande are now following each other on Instagram. Now let me tell you something. I don't know what's gonna come of it, but all I know is if they sat their asses down to do a fucking collaboration, it would be one for the ages. Can you imagine, bitch, we would not even be able to differentiate based off of the tone and how they sing. I remember the first time I heard, was it The Way? I was like, is this Mariah? It was years ago. I can't even remember fully what caused the whole rift between her and Mariah in the first place. I think it was because of shit like that, like so many people comparing Ariana to Mariah. I don't know. I can't even remember specifically what was the reason. I don't think anybody said it. I don't think Ariana was rude or anything. I think it was just like the fans and the public like pitting them against each other. I don't know, girl. But all I can say is like I think they're following each other. If we get a collaboration, it should have been a Christmas collaboration, but we're gonna pass on that one. We're gonna let All I Want for Christmas Is You dominate the charts like it always does. I wanna know, like, what would an Ariana and Mariah collaboration even sound like? Like, what would they be singing about? How the song sound? Who's gonna produce it? I don't know, I'm getting ahead of myself, but I'm just saying, if y'all wanna do it, you know, I'm all ears, so because I've been gassing it and talking about it for so long, I wanted to give my quick thoughts on Star Wars. I'm not gonna spoil too much, so don't worry about that. I'm just saying, sis, I did end up going to see it. Now, the visuals were breathtaking. You hear what I'm saying? I was sitting in that theater, I watched that shit in IMAX 3D. You hear what I'm saying? I got my life. When it came to the visuals, I got my fucking life. But like, the story, girl, the plot, sus, I was just like, okay, you're here one moment and here the next. It's just like some shit, y'all contradicted some of the shit y'all did in the last movie, and it was all over the place when it came to that. So if you're a hardcore Star Wars fan and you're wondering like, should I even go see this movie? I don't know. Like, if you're gonna be really angry and offended at some of the shit that they did, because it's giving me season 8 of Game of Thrones type of tea. Like, that's what it's giving me. With like, the cinematography was great, the visuals, the great effects were great. Miss Palpatine, girl, she gave a performance of a lifetime, sus. You know what I mean? But the reasons why certain characters were in certain places, the way that certain things turned out, the plot armor, the weird corny moments, some of the dialogue was weird. It's just, I think that the most interesting character, and I said this already, I think the most interesting character is Kylo Ren. Like, I don't know, he's the only one that had a whole lot of depth, I guess, and you were kind of rooting for him, but not at the same time. And I guess they were trying to give us like Prince Zuko when it came to like redemption, but it's, I don't know, the way that the Force ghosts are coming in and out of the equation, like a confusing ass algebra problem, it wasn't, I don't know. It just, you know, I think if the story was as solid as the visuals, I would have gotten more of my life. Like, I'm not gonna lie to you, I love the fight scenes, I love the way they use the Force, I love the Force lightning and everything, I loved it all. I just wish that the story behind it was more solid. That's the only thing. You can let me know what you think about it. I don't have to really ask you guys what you thought about the Cats movie because it took $95 million to make that shit, and the domestic box office for that shit was $6.5 million. Now, sis, this goes as a lesson to all these movie runners, these executives and shit. You need to pay attention to what the audience is saying, okay? Just because y'all cram these A-list celebrities into these casts, if you present a garbage product to us, girl, that's what you gonna get. That's why I'm gonna be harder on myself about writing more so I can pitch to certain people. Maybe, I don't know where to even begin, but if y'all can really sit down in a room and say, you know what, we'll make a lot of money, Cats. And let's pay some writers, get a bunch of A-list, B-list celebrities to come do it, and Cats will make us some money. If y'all can do that shit, I can write something and make some money. Like, at this point, I'm gonna push myself. I don't know how I'm gonna do it. I don't know who I gotta talk to. But sis, if y'all out here making movies like Cats and shit and watching that shit flop, ruining whole seasons of good ass TV shows, tired ass scripts for movies, girl, I mean, we can get something done. I can write something, you can write something, you who's watching this, you can write something. If they can do that shit, we can do it. Shit. And since we're talking about space, this is just a really quick update from NPR. Trump officially has created the Space Force. Now, they're saying that about 16,000 Air Force active duty and civilian personnel are being assigned to the Space Force. There's still a lot to figure out, including the Space Force uniform and logo and all this shit, even its official song. They're saying they're trying to take the sci-fi-ness out of it, the fantasy out of it, by saying that it's not about protecting Earth from asteroids and aliens. Joanne Johnson-Fries, she is a space security expert at the U.S. Naval War College. She said the kind of information gathered by U.S. space systems is crucial crucial in warfare today. She said whoever has the best information and can get it the fastest wins, and space provides a lot of that information. They also said, however, if there was a war in space, the Space Force wouldn't actually be fighting it. The U.S. Space Command, which is a separate joint command, and it was established earlier this year, they would be the ones fighting it. So I don't know, if you're wondering, you want the Space Force updates, if you want to give us all types of Buzz Lightyear type of teas, if you're trying to give us, I don't know, if you're trying to give us Darth Vader, Death Star teas, maybe the Expanse, Interstellar, Gravity type of teas, you could go ahead, sign y'all asses up. I'll let y'all figure that out. I'll stay on Earth until y'all got the pathways clear. I'm not going to be a pioneer in the vacuum of space, but if y'all want to do that, that's up to you, girl. Join the Space Force. There was a whole bunch of comedians that took their ass on the SNL, and in particular, I'm going to focus on Eddie Murphy. He hadn't been there for like 30-something years, I think, 35. But he had this whole monologue, and he honestly dedicated like 2 sentences to Bill Cosby. And so I don't understand why Bill Cosby's spokesman, Andrew Wyatt, came out the gate swinging. So from what I remember what Eddie Murphy said on NSL, he basically said, if you would have told me, a long time ago that I would be a stay-at-home type of dad and Bill Cosby would be in jail, I wouldn't believe you or whatever. And he said, who's America's dad now, or something like that. And I was like, okay, that was funny, and he moved right along. He wasn't hammering on Bill Cosby, even though it definitely would not have been bothersome to me if he did so. But yeah, Andrew Wyatt, Cosby's spokesperson, girl, he came out, he said, sus, you need to stop dragging Cosby because he broke the color barriers in the entertainment industry. Let me make sure I get this shit right. This come from CNN. Murphy's jokes were disparaging, the statement said, adding that one would think that Mr. Murphy was given his freedom to leave the plantation so that he could make his own decisions, but he decided to sell himself back to being a Hollywood slave. The spokesman goes on to even say basically that he's down to meet up and have a conversation in order to discuss how we can use our collective platforms to enhance black people rather than bringing all of us down. It's just like, when some of these people have been rightfully called out for the shit that they have done, and it's just like he said it out of his own mouth too, so it's just like that he did it. Anyway, they got Bill Cosby ass out of here. It just seems like a lot of times when these people, they try to use their resume or try to use what they've done for the community as a way to be like, you can't talk about them, you can't drag them, you can't say shit to them, you need to respect them. No, girl, he probably should have respected the woman that he has allegedly drugged and assaulted and shit. So, if we're talking about respect, let's put some respect in that area. It's like, girl, you can't use the fact that you was the first one to do X, Y, and Z to try and block out all the other bullshit that you did, girl. He's a comedian, he makes jokes, and just like you told his ass that his comedy is basically shitty for the black community and the black family, girl, he has the last laugh. I don't know. What do you want? What do you want? Like, Andrew White, if you don't sit your ass down, came out here with this long ass statement for 2 sentences that fucking Eddie made and move right along by his business. Goodbye. Worry about your man sitting in jail, and that's it. Now the internet blew up with alleged videos of Jake Paul doing something sexual and alleged nudes from DaBaby, and it's just like, DaBaby said, girl, I don't stand nudes, so you can sit your ass down on that one. I don't even know what's going on with Jake Paul. The whole reason I'm saying this is just like, even if it were true that these celebrity news and shit was leaking, like, girl, we're not really too much pressed on that no more at this point. I don't know why y'all ain't hacking Sally Mae. Okay, hack my bank account and put maybe 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 million. Ain't nobody worried about no pictures. Hack my account and put 6 million in there. Hack some of these databases and increase all of our credit scores. You know what I'm saying? Hack the databases and delete our debt. Delete our credit card debt, delete our mortgages. Stop worrying about these celebrities. Don't worry, we're good. If we want to see some shit, we could go on Pornhub.com and we'll be okay. I'm telling you right now, y'all hacking the wrong shit. Okay, that's all I wanted to talk about. Thank you all so much for watching. I love your support. Sign up to patreon.com/AdrianExpression. I will see you all later and make sure that you have a good goddamn evening.